You know, Gilberto, Reem, inshallah, I personally am a very disappointed Arsenal fan at the moment. With the regression going on at the club. Gilberto, back in your days, almost every other year, we're clocking in as Champions League quarterfinalists and semi-finalists. But with current times, we are at least trying to approach a Europa League semi-final position. And that's very painful for a lot of supporters, especially those with a spiritual core connection with the club. Um, and for this year as well, with our current league position, it's a very daunting task. It's seemingly bleak to be qualifying for Europe each year as we progress. Um, Although there's some limelights to it with Atleta's movement and that make changes he has made. I still think we still need at least a season or two before we become a more competitive and consistent team. But in my opinion, under current ownership, I don't see that happening. I'm not a fond supporter of the current ownership. I feel that the culture, the tradition, the values of the club are lost compared to when you used to play. You could feel it as fans as well. It's more business and politicized now. So I hope that one day at least, and with speculations in the next season or coming seasons, we could see a change in ownership, someone who's interested in a club like other Premiership owners who will actually help develop the club. But my question to you, Gilberto, is what is your views on Arteta and the progress of the current Arsenal team?
As you can see, from time I was at the club, thing has changed a lot in the club. Start changing from the stadium, and start change the ownership, and then you see this process of the transition from especially Emirates to from hybrid to Emirates. It costs Arsenal a lot of things. Let me explain, my view. When Arsenal start to build Emirates, they financially they could not compete financially with the other clubs. What the other clubs did was, they reinforced the squad. They signed good players. Manchester United, they always sign good players. Liverpool start to improve, year by year. Chelsea, they invest a lot in players. And then we have Manchester City with a strong owner, and they, with a lot of money, they invest a lot of money in the team over the past years, different from Arsenal. Arsenal may build up the stadium, but even though afterwards, they could not catch the other teams who, in terms of signing big names, they were in front of Arsenal. And Arsenal have to deal with the resource they brought. Then we have the transition team as well, with players from my generation. We start to leave the club, and Arsene was preparing the team to replace my generation. At some point, most of these players left the club. And Arsene had to use the resource he got, try to have the team competitive again. But I think at this point, we lost a little bit the transition point, from these younger players for the professional team to be like the main players. We lost a little bit. But then after this stabilized, even though before Arsene leave the team, okay, did not win the title, but he kept the team playing the international competition like Champions League. And I think the last couple of years, what I think the main point for us is try where we can find players that bring us to another level. Maybe 2 or 3 players. Let's bring them, because at the point Arsenal were a few years ago compared to the other teams, they cannot waste much. Not waste. Of course, Arsenal culture was to bring younger players, prepare them. But okay, you can continue to do this, but you have to bring players that bring your level to bring something for the team, to put you in another level, and sometimes not easy because you have other competitors. They invest a lot of money. And I don't know, my opinion, if Arsenal were ready to compete financially with other clubs, because we have seen, players like City still investing on players, to reinforce the squad. Manchester United invest, they pay good money in some players. Liverpool, different from Arsenal, maybe if you see the investments, maybe the top six, let's say, the big six, seven, eight clubs, probably the difference is quite massive between the Arsenal and the other clubs.